Now, Mr. Puri did speak about commercial real estate. And yes, like I said, he rightly divvied it up into categories, which is the segment that the commercial realty property will be catering to. Will it be retail? Will it be warehousing? So on and so forth. And you heard out Mr. Anuj Puri being extremely bullish on industrial warehousing. That could be a category that will pick up in a very big way, and rightly so. I mean, how many of us have used a lot of these e-commerce websites to order in, right? Be it Amazon, Flipkart, so on and so forth. So that clearly shows that warehousing could be that one area which will show a lot of promise. And you as retail investors can as well invest in this area. You may ask how, because this is especially a domain that's, sort of limited, if you could call it that, to the more institutional investors, to the expert guys. Let's tell you how commercial real estate investment has been brought to your table as well. Sudarshan Lodha, the co-founder of Strata, now joins us on the show. Sudarshan, thank you so much for joining us today on The Money Show. Let's start off first by very briefly introducing Strata to our viewers. I gave them a brief gist, taking a leaf out of Anuj Puri's conversation on how warehousing investment could be pretty lucrative going forward. How does essentially Strata then help retail investors, like me, invest in warehousing using Strata?
Great. Thank you so much, firstly, for having me. Just to give you a background, what Strata is doing, we are effectively a platform which allows retail, even HNIs, to start investing into commercial real estate. I think there are 4 points which we broadly cater to when it comes to commercial real estate. It is an aspirational asset class for a lot of people, but it's most likely inaccessible to a lot of people. Second, with respect to in real estate, there's always questions about transparency. That is something what Strata is solving in a big way. Third, with respect to diversification, I think today investors, from a very investment point of view, they invest into stock markets, different mutual funds, etc. Whereas real estate usually is about 50-60% of one's portfolio is typically only about 1 or 2 assets at the maximum, right? So that is another big challenge which is there, and I think people today are looking for a good alternative fixed income product at the same time. So what Strata is doing is we identify good pre-leased commercial assets which are leased to multinational companies or to grade A clients on good long-term leases with clear titles and everything. We propose it to investors on our platform for them to invest, and as little as 25 lakh rupees, they can start investing into these investment ticket sizes. So whatever rentals we are able to generate for these properties is also passed on to them at the same time. The 4 points which I mentioned about accessibility, so it's all given to them on a platform where they can decide which property they want to invest in, and they can say yes or a no. Everything with respect to from title diligences to all the sale and lease comps about the property prior to the investing. Also, the same market overview is all given to them, including the tenant financial due diligence, because at the end of the day, you're entering into an investment where you're relying the tenants to keep paying you rents. It's very important, especially in these times, to understand if the financial stability of the tenant is rock solid as well. Diversification, very important point in real estate has always been a very local business. I'm from Mumbai, I'll invest in Mumbai. I'm from Bangalore, I'll invest in Bangalore. But that's what we are solving. You can invest across different markets which you believe are growing at the same time, across different types of assets. So you can buy a retail, you can buy a warehouse, you can buy an office, which we keep listing onto a platform from time to time. But more importantly, you can have a diversified portfolio from a tenant point of view as well. Like imagine you had a tenant which was, say, a hit sector because of COVID has been hospitality, and you had your investments made into an asset which was leased to a hospitality sector, which might be stressed for the next 6 months or so. Your ROI goes for a toss at that given point of time, right? So these are things which we are solving at Strata, which gives maximum transparency, control for investors to decide which investments they want to do, and then they can start investing in smaller ticket sizes.
Okay, why commercial realty? I mean, what are the rental yields?
So typically, rental yields in the good commercial assets range somewhere between at least 6% to upwards of 9-10%. Like if you look at office spaces, it's between 6 to 8 or even 9 sometimes. For warehousing, it's at 8 to 11% in return. So obviously for those investors who have bought their own house and are looking at making another investment, we clearly tell them that why don't you park some money into commercial real estate because your rental returns are far better. There's a good chances for appreciation versus a residential, which has been a little stagnant for some time. You just covered that as well. So this is why we are focusing more on commercial real estate from an investment point of view.
You mentioned that as well as one area of returns for commercial realty investors, but residential realty has not really done much for capital appreciation.
Precisely the point why we are very gung-ho over the whole commercial real estate sector as from an investment point of view for investors, because bare minimum we have seen in the last 4-5 years commercial real estate has grown on an average 4 to 7%, market to market, micro market to micro market for that matter, but on average that has been the minimum growth rate commercial properties have had versus residential, which has been a little stagnant for the last 3-4 years.
Amount that individuals do need to put in for Strata?
Lost your question. The minimum investment is about 20 to 25 lakhs, but again depends from property.
I just wanted to know if there's any minimum investment amount.
Yes, so it depends from property to property. Somewhere between 20 to 25 lakhs is our typical minimum investment one can invest into properties at the same time.
All right. How would you compare, realty, commercial realty yields with other investment avenues like gold, equities, etc.?
Very important fundamental question, which we've been hearing from most of our investors today is they're very scared because of the whole volatility which is there in most of the other asset classes currently. Like gold is today at all-time high, so investors are having a fear that yes, there is safety for my investment, but will I see any capital appreciation on that beyond the certain point of gold which is there, or other investments? Fixed deposits rates are falling at all-time low at the same time for investors. So people are looking for a good alternative investment asset class. Again, something which is very, very fundamental, which I see as more resilient today is commercial real estate. Like how, all the industry guys have mentioned the fact that office spaces, say from a commercial real estate point of view, will bounce back for that matter. But having said that, there is a good investment product such as warehousing, which you can consider, data centers at the same time, which you can consider for investing, which has been great, which has been non-volatile at the same time, and has been given a consistent rental yields of 8-9% with a 4-5% appreciation. So you're talking about a 14-15% kind of an IRR at a good for a good market at the same time. So I think from a very asset point of view, you have very less chances of a risk of capital over here. There might be risk on capital if in the event there's market stagnancy or the tenant leaving. But prima facie, at least, if you're going after good grade A commercial assets, there's a good amount of downside protection from, attracting the best kind of tenants for occupying your properties.
Giving us your time today and introducing Strata to all our viewers. Many thanks for joining in.